Well, my mom, she was addicted to drugs, and my dad, he was drinking a lot and living in a old abandoned hotels and with homeless people and stuff.
We weren't doing that good, and it was hard because we didn't have a house, and I didn't get fed every meal, and she would come home and pass out on the couch or go to her bedroom, and all I would know how to do was make cereal for me and Riley.
Sometimes she smacked us really hard for no reason, or when she just got mad because she was drunk or whatever, she used to hurt us.
We had one dad for the girl baby and one dad for me and one dad for the other one.
She had a boyfriend, and she lived with him, and so did we, and he used to spank us really hard.
It was bad because my mom didn't have any money to pay for me, and it was bad.
The kinds of things that I see happening in kids' lives today is, I think because I have such a long span of time working with kids, I've seen a real different direction take place. When I started in probably the late 70s, kids were being arrested for very minor things. And it seems as the years have progressed, kids are becoming more involved in very, very difficult kinds of things in our society.
Unfortunately, the kids always suffer the mistakes of the parents, and their stories are enough to break my heart because they've been exposed to things often by the time they're 2 or 3 that I've never been exposed to.
A lot of the kids have had scary things, whether that means that they were abandoned and just the fear of being left alone all the time, or whether that means scared for their physical safety because of violence and afraid if they get mom or dad in the wrong mood that it's going to be taken out on them.
How do you erase images of domestic violence from a child's head? How do you, again, erase pictures like pornography that they were exposed to when they were very small? And those kind of influences, especially when they hit such an early age, introduce things to children that not only should they have no concept of, but they have to get out somehow.
They haven't got a support system as you and I would know it. They have no local church involved with them. They have a very small support group in terms of peers. A number of circumstances seem to affect these kids that we see.
I have the 0 to 4s, and within that I take care of the kids when their mothers are in things like legal workshops, if they're in counseling and they're in Bible studies, if they're working in the learning center, they're with me. And when they're with me, we do everything from preschool type things to nap time, my favorite, as well as teaching of Bible principles, things like sharing and kindness. And then I also do a lot of teaching with the moms in both a formal setting as well as in the nursery, just interacting with them.
The place where I get to work with the children is called the Yellow House. It's a building actually next door to Ogden, a whole other house unto its own. I think the Yellow House is an ideal place to do the children's program. It's away from Ogden, which is kind of one of the major benefits. The kids get to be away from all the pressures and stress of the main building and just have a place that's their own, that they can leave their mark. So it works great for what we need to do.
The moms that I work with often come to Ogden with a deficit in their hearts. It's so hard to give something to your child that you've never received. If I'm trying to teach a mom how to be empathetic to her child, sometimes the bells and whistles don't quite come on because she doesn't understand, because she's never had empathy given to her. And so a lot of it is kind of, it's reteaching of the mom in her heart so that she can then give it to her child.
When a child comes into Ogden, there's more than just working on the academic and the spiritual. You can be very truthful and blunt with the kids, and they know how their moms ended up at Ogden. And so also working on anger management with the children, working on social skills with the kids, so that hopefully they see that there's different ways to deal with problems.
I believe that God has His hand on every single person who comes to Ogden Hall. Specifically with the kids and moms that I get to work with. God has a better way for them, and if they can just stay there long enough, they are introduced to that better way in a huge array of ways, through chapel, through the parenting classes, through interacting with each other, through staff interactions. I think that the moms get a picture of a life outside of what many of them grew up in.
I think why the kids like coming to the Yellow House is because they get to have fun, they know that they're loved, and I get to be weird so that they don't feel awkward. You know, if the teacher's being silly, it's okay. We don't have to be perfect here. And so I think the freedom that the kids feel, they feel safe, and they like that.
I really feel that part of our call at the Union Gospel Mission is to partnership up with area churches to do ministry. And so I am out there as a resource person, challenging different churches in this Spokane area to partner with us, in which we provide churches resources such as a camp, such as food, such as many other things, training for their kids to help reach the kids of our city of Spokane. And so what we are really about is partnering with them, giving them resources that they can do ministry, and helping guide them and direct them in that capacity, both at our camp ministry and any kind of ministry that we have in the Spokane area.
Dennis had mentioned the possibility of the Moreo apartments and the need of a church to come in and start working with the apartments, and that became our focus after that point.
Our church is in the middle of Hilliard, and that's not a very good neighborhood, and I just think it's a really good place for us because, you know, those people really need to know about God, and there's nobody else to teach them, so why not us?
Not only do we help them with their homework, we interact with them. During the summer, we'll play games with them, and during the winter, we'll play board games with them in the doors if they don't have any homework. They're always welcome to come. Anybody's welcome.
I think it's to help them and to guide them through life, and that one day eventually come to have them start coming to our church and starting to get them to have a relationship with us and a relationship with the Lord.
The Lord has blessed me with something to where I can go help other kids to know that He is a really awesome God and that He'll be there for them no matter what. So it's kind of cool to let them know that He's there for them through everything.
Part of my heart is to see high school kids trained to be ministers, and one of the ways in which we're doing that at the mission is through the summer camp. And so it's my goal to train these high school kids to learn to be ministers, that they can do something, they can have influence in the lives of kids, and that all they are about is not just entertainment, but they too can develop a heart of passion.
We're excited about doing a week of camp like this because we're able to reach out to kids in our community who usually wouldn't be able to afford going to camp and maybe weren't even a part of any kind of Christian fellowship in their life. So we began doing some activities this spring and summer and just kind of getting to know kids right in the neighborhood of our church. And then we offered to them this camp based on the Union Gospel Mission and what they had provided for us to come and help be a part of. So exciting to take kids who usually would never be able to go away to camp, and they've had an incredible time.
They're from a lot of hard backgrounds. So I think this is a neat opportunity for them, you know, something they wouldn't get every day.
They just love us. I mean, we're big kids to them, and they think we're super cool, and we don't even need to do anything. So, I don't know, that's just what's fun for me, and just to see how happy and how much fun they're having. My cabin had a lot of problems trusting each other, and
through the week, through the rope course and through the challenges and through our devotions, they really worked that out. They built relationships with each other, and they were able to do the trust fall, which was incredible, very incredible. One of the girls in my cabin, she just flat out said, "I can't trust anyone," and she was able to do it. So I was really proud of her.
It's meant so much, to see kids experience a little bit of freedom, to see kids connect with high school kids in terms of cabin counselors, to watch these high school kids in their heart, I think, break for kids, break for the ministry, that they can have some impact, they can have some really deep influence in the lives of kids, particularly if they follow up with them.
You never know how much of an influence you will have, but just to maybe give them a little push in the right direction towards God, and to see their hearts, really longing after God.
I have prayed numerous times, especially as a child and mom is leaving, that God would be that daddy that these kids don't have. And I really believe that that is his heart, to be that daddy who comes in and protects the unprotected and is a husband to the widows.
My hope for these children is that they would be able to stop the cycles of their grandparents, of their parents, and be able to live productive lives in our community filled with the hope and love of Jesus Christ.
We really are trying to point kids to Jesus Christ, who is inviting them in the first place. He sees them as precious, as little children who need a father, and we're trying to point them to him in that direction. The Union Gospel Mission has always reached out to those who are lost. Someone once said that it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. That's our goal. There are so many kids in our community who are going through tough circumstances every day and enduring situations that children should never be exposed to. The heart of God grieves for these young people, and he longs to respond to their cry. Through your compassion, we can alter the future of these young people's lives and point them to the one who truly cares. Thank you for loving kids who desperately need to know they are loved. You make it possible for us to catch them before they fall.